What's going on, YouTube? It's Mr. Ferguson here once again. Hope you guys are having a fantastic Friday. Thank you so much for tuning in. We got a good video for you today. But before we get into the video, make sure you're liking the video, you're commenting below, you're subscribed to the channel. We're doing some awesome things. We've got some great upcoming videos I think you're really going to enjoy. So thank you for tuning in today. Be sure to check me out if you're interested on Instagram. I try to post some quick videos, some pictures. I preview sometimes some of the clips that I'm recording early. I'll put some of that on Instagram at Mr. Lawn. You can follow me there if you're interested. That's just somewhere I'm trying to show you guys different things in the lawn and things of that nature that we don't always post here in the video format. So thank you so much for doing that. Well, today, guys, we are talking project lawn. We're starting here at my home here in the morning. We're going to be heading over there in a second. I've got to grab all the materials. We finally got our Yard Mastery soil test back. And we'll wait till we get out there. I'll put it on the screen. I'm gonna show you the details of the soil test. We now have marching orders, if you will. We now have direction and what we need to do, how we need to do it, what we need to apply. I'm gonna get all the stuff here and just go ahead and load the truck up. We'll go over there here momentarily, and then we'll begin to explain the soil test, and then we're gonna put action into work based on the soil test. This is what we need to do. We're going to do it today, and hopefully we're going to begin to see a turnaround before summer comes. We're going to begin to see a turnaround in the project lawn. That's the goal. That's the hope. All right, so we're back out at the church. We got the mower loaded up. I just unloaded the sprayer and some of the stuff we're going to be doing. So the first thing I want to do is show you how bad this lawn is looking right now. We've got some new developments in it. To addition to the weeds, we've got weeds that are like 10 inches tall. We've got good looking grass. We've got hideous looking grass. So let me show you the lawn. We're not going to go into a full lawn walkthrough about every single detail, but I want to show you the pre-treatment lawn of what we're going to do today. And then we'll be able to save this, hopefully a clip of this video. We'll be able to come back and see what we're doing today. Is it going to make a difference? And we're going to talk about what we're going to do by the soil test here in just a second. Hang with me. So it's not majorly different than what we showed you guys the last time, but we do have more of the quote fungus spots breaking out, especially over here. Look at this. I didn't see this last night. We were here last night for church. It just looks like a crazy neglected lawn, right? So you got patches like this that looks exactly like you want the whole entire lawn to look like. It's just lush, it's green, it's thick, it's perfect, right? I think a lot of this has to do also with when our Veragreen from Jonathan Green went down, our spreader messed up. I had to hand throw stuff out. I was looking at this last night. The only thing that makes sense is some areas got a lot of the fertilizer from that, some areas got neglected, and we've got issues. So we've got this Poa annua, looks to be dying off. As you guys can see here, it's not green and lush, and it's more brown. It looks like it's barely hanging on. And I just literally heard in the car ride over here that we got high heat coming back, and the guy said, we see no measurable rainfall in the near future. Guess what we're coming into? We're about to go into May, and every single May, this is what happens every single year. We don't have any rain. So we're about to be in almost high heat and drought yet again. So heads up to the bank at Mr. Ferguson's lawn, right? But you can just see how ugly this thing looks right now. You got streaks of brown. You've got a streak of green. You got a streak of brown, you got a streak. Now, I think a lot of this, again, has to do with compaction. Well, why do I say that? When I did the probing for the soil test, I wasn't able to get that far down. One of the things that I did in my lawn prior to ever even planting my GCI Turf Type Tall Fescue, I was hitting it with RGS, I was hitting it with humic acid, I was hitting it with aerate. I did that all spring, all summer, and then when I finally got to fall, I had all of that already in my soil, which helped me to be successful, and I was working on my pH. And so we did not do that previous to this. We planted the grass, our pH is low. We're going to look at the soil test here in a second, but we have a lot of nasty, like all of this looks really bad and it looks really dingy. And I think this is exactly what we read, guys, about rust, because looking at this, it looks exactly like rust. It's thinning out the grass. It may not have gotten any nutrients to it. We're going to look at the soil test here in a second, but it looks really bad. But you got weeds here. Look at this. You got weeds right here. That weed is literally you know, 10 inches taller than what the grass is right there. Look at that. It's just, it looks horrible. Now we have some clovers, we have some weeds popping up here. We're not going to handle the visual weeds today because we're going to be doing other things. We'll talk about that in a second. So just look how ugly it is. And quickly, it's the same through here. We've got these outlier tall weeds. Don't have a clue what this guy is. It's just tall and it's ugly. Not sure what it is, but when you have ground that's never been aerated and it's wild ground, you got wild things popping up. That almost looks like poatriv or something that's really thick and tall. Man, maybe crabgrass. Look at that. Does that look like crabgrass? It's purple at the bottom. Kind of looks like crabgrass to me, except it's not, you know, going out. That definitely looks like crabgrass right there. And again, our spreader broke, so don't think, oh, Jonathan Green's crabgrass preventer is terrible. That's not fair and that's not true. We had a broken spreader, and I have to say that. So we'll handle it, and which actually is a good thing because we can show you how to handle crabgrass if it pops through. All right, thank you so much for staying with me here. So we're going to talk about this disgusting looking lawn behind me in detail. So without further ado, we're not going to go into like breaking this down for 15 minutes or anything, but here is our bar graph right here of the Project Lawn Spring 2024. We just took this a week ago, and you may look on the far right there and that pH is like, huh, well that says your pH is close to 7. That bar graph is off, so I don't know what it's saying, but you can see we're low on the macronutrients there. That is the main thing we're focused on, and you can see we're very low. So let's take that off the screen, and let me just say, when you're dealing with a lawn like this that is brand new, we're dealing with brand new dirt, we're dealing with a brand new lawn that we just sowed not even a year ago. It's under a year old. First time grass seed has been sown on this dirt. We are not even, I don't even care about the micronutrients. Whatever is there, we're not applying microgreen from Next. We're not doing any of that. We're focused on the big three: the nitrogen, the phosphorus, and the potassium. We've got to get that level, as well as pH. Our pH and our macronutrients. So if you're in my position and you're dealing with a one-time lawn, don't look at even anything past calcium or magnesium. We don't care about that. All we care about is the big three. We need to get optimal there. Then we can dial in our micronutrients, right? So that is the main thing I want to say here. So let's move on to the numbers. So here you go. Here is the numbers. Number one, our nitrogen is majorly low. That is almost, again, we had a problem with our spreader when we were doing the Jonathan Green Verigreen. It screwed us all up. I was very agitated. It's why I told you I was going to take that Scott spreader out back and shoot it. And so it really messed us up. But we haven't done any nitrogen since then so that we could accurately measure our soil. Let's move down to phosphorus, 0.23. It should be between 5 and 11, and we're at a 0.23. That is one of the major problems with this lawn, is we know phosphorus as our root growth nutrient. We don't have any in this soil. We've got to get phosphorus into this. So that right there tells me immediately we're low on nitrogen, we're low on phosphorus. We got to use a starter fert. We need to continue to use a starter fert and continue to test until we get into the optimal range. And then you can see our potassium is actually 16.33. We need to be in 38.72, which is our stress reducer, is our potassium. So we're actually low there, but we're not bad. We're way higher. We're 16 times higher than phosphorus. So this goes a long way with what we've been saying, right? Our phosphorus is so low. This grass has no development of roots in it. Plus, I've told you, compaction is an issue. We didn't aerate. We had this guy come out and turn it with the teeth. That was probably, I mean, it was free. He helped the church out. We thank Mr. Blake's cousin, I believe. But we've got to aerate. We're going to be aerating the crap out of this lawn this fall. That's going to help tremendously. In addition, I've already put in an order with the church for Aerate to be able to spray liquid aeration, in the hopes that if Aerate is truly a product that works in that way, it's something we can do before we get to fall to aerate the lawn with liquid aeration. Again, take it or leave it. You don't have to do that. But so right there's our top three. We're low on nitrogen, we're very low on phosphorus, and we're okay on K. Now, here at the church, remember, one of the things we did before we hooked up with Jonathan Green is we did some 0020 from GCI Turf. I believe that's where the potassium came from, was that liquid application. We did a little bit of nitrogen, but that nitrogen is clearly drained from the plant, and nitrogen drives the bus. What does that mean? Nitrogen is what brings the nutrients up into the plant. When we're low on nitrogen, there's no way to drive those nutrients up into the plant. Plus, again, when I was putting humic acid in my lawn, humic acid unlocks nutrients to be able to be derived to the plant. And the other thing you'll notice here is we're good on sulfur, but look at our calcium level, 58, when we should be between 93 and 314, we're at a 58. I talk and preach about calcium for the summer. We got to get on this now because calcium builds the cell walls of the plant. We're having an issue with that. We're low on calcium. We need our calcium levels to rise. But you'll look at our pH down there at the bottom. You've probably already seen it by now, me mumbling on, 6.02. Soft clap for Jonathan Green Magi-Cal Plus. It absolutely worked, guys. The last time, and I don't think I have it here on my phone, but our last soil test, if I have it, Mr. Ferguson put it here, we were at a 5.45. We went from a 5.45, we shot up to a 6.02 according to Yard Mastery. This test was also, I believe, Soil Savvy maybe. It wasn't the same company, so you have to factor that in. But we went from 5.45 to a 6.0 according to Yard Mastery. So we're there, but we're not. I'm not happy with that. We want to go up a little bit more. So we are probably towards here in the next several weeks. I've already put that order in with the church. We're going to do another application of the Jonathan Green Magi-Cal Plus because it absolutely worked, and it worked faster than lime. And so we need to get our pH up just a little bit more, get around 6.5. We can lay off pH. We're good there. We're going to continue to work on macronutrients. So there is the soil test. It's a disgusting soil test, but man, it is so cool that it unlocks the answers that we need. Starter fur. We have to use starter fur in this lawn until we get into optimal range, and then we can dial it in. And again, this is a lawn that's 20-25 minutes away from my house. So today, because of that, we're doing as much as we can in one trip up here, right? So the first thing we're going to do is knock all this grass down to the same height. So we're going to cut it around 3 inches. Unfortunately, I now see that it looks like this rust is more taken over and spreading than I originally thought. I should have brought my bag, but I didn't. And now my mower is going to be mowing with rust in the lawn. We're going to treat the rust, but now I got to take my mower home, and it's going to be, applied to my lawn. So I'm thankful that I've already applied some fungicides to my lawn. So again, if you've got a mowing company mowing lawns like this one, and then come into your house and you're unprotected with fungicides, then what's on that mower can spread into your lawn. Look at the links below for propiconazole and azoxystrobin. I highly suggest you buy these and apply them, or Scott's Disease X and BioAdvanced Fungus Control. That's the cheapest options, and apply them so that if you got somebody mowing your grass, you're protected against fungus. So we're going to mow this sucker down, number one. Number two, we're going to do an application of fertilizer, heavily do an application of Green Pop 16-21-2. We'll show you that in a second, and I may show some of the spraying if you guys like that. I didn't bring the drone and all the fancy stuff. So we're going to do starter fertilizer. We want to drive the phosphorus into the plant, into the soil, and get nutrients into this. It's going to help it to come to life. I know the starter fertilizer is going to transform this once we get it into the soil. Then secondly, we need to do a biostimulant application. We got to get our dirt right, as you guys have properly said. I'm going to put down humic acid. I'm going to be putting down RGS, and we're going to mix in some CK in that application and spread all that around. Then we're going to take time and water it in so that it can get into the soil. Really, if I'm smart, we may do a third application of the propiconazole because it needs to sit on the blade to attack the fungus that's there. But again, this is like if somebody comes to your lawn, we've got to do as much as we can in one trip because we can't come up here all the time, right? This would be totally different if it was my lawn at home. We're lumping a lot of things together because this is a off-location site. So I hope that makes sense. We've got 9 minutes. This is going to be a longer video, but I want to be clear on the strategy here. Now that we have soil test, we have strategy. So let's get the mower out. I'll run through that real fast. I don't think it's worth filming that. So I'll just cut it down to size, and then we'll come back and we'll show you our mix of how we're going to mix and what we're mixing to be able to begin applications of spraying it on this lawn. A few minutes later. So before we move on real quick, just mowing makes this thing look better. So new homeowners, new lawn care people, we've got a lot of problems here, right? In the soil and visually, right? We've got weeds, we've got fungus, we've got lack of macronutrients. we got problems. But just mowing this makes me feel better. Just mowing your lawn and evening everything out, it doesn't necessarily help. It does promote growth, not only for weeds, but the good grass, but it just makes you feel better about my lawn. Okay, I don't look like a disgusting mess. There's a lot of YouTubers out there that just go to overgrown lawns and they film it and it looks amazing to watch and so satisfying, right? I love that myself. But just mowing this makes it look a lot better. It's evened out, just like when we get a haircut. We feel so much better. We get the hair off our neck, we feel better. So mow complete. Let's begin. Now that we've cut it all down to size, we've got crabgrass and all this, let's go over here and talk about the first application that we just touched on, why we're doing it, how much we're going to put down, and let's get to it. All right, so we've got a mountain of products here. I'm going all liquid. I feel like that will get it into the dirt even faster than your granular because we're going liquid form. Now, if the church had the natural adjuvant, I would absolutely be applying that as well. The most important thing is the green pop. We're working on the dirt. Now, if the fungus eats away all the grass, if the rust comes and we get dollar spot and all this, so be it. We're replanting in the fall. We got to keep that in mind. We got to look big picture. We're really working on the dirt. The visual will come when we get our dirt right. So the main thing we're doing, number one, is we're pulling our green pop. We saw the soil test. This has got 16% nitrogen, 21% phosphorus. This is our phosphorus source right here. So we are going heavy. And let me see, there's one of them that they gave me. Okay, this one's good. So apply, we're going max, right? Because we are super deficient. Apply at a rate of 15 ounces per 1,000 square feet. So that's what we're going with. Cool season turf, same thing. Warm season, same thing. So 15 ounces per 1,000. That is a lot. And we're talking about a starter fir, right? So we are definitely going 15 ounces per 1,000. This is roughly a 3,200 square feet little small lawn, right? So 15, 30, 45, roughly 45 ounces. In addition to that, we are super low on nitrogen. We're super low on the phosphorus. So in addition to that, we have a little bit of the 20-00. I'm just going to put a pinch of this in to promote growth as well. We got 16-21. I'm just putting a pinch of the 20-00 in, like 3 ounces of that just to add. I want to put more nitrogen. We are super low. We're super deficient. We can go for a big nitrogen boost, right? So we're going to put both of these in as our fertilizers. I can't remember what the soil test said about potassium. We're low on that as well. We've got 2% potassium coming from our green pop. We've got nothing from this 20-00, but the church did buy Pete's GCI turf, just straight up potassium. We talked about this being our stress reliever, so I'm going to add a little bit more because, again, this is starter fir, but we need to up our potassium as well because we know that's our stress reliever. We have no rain coming. We've got Kentucky bluegrass. It's going to be hot. It's going to be dry for a while. We need to try to pump that in as well. So we'll spray all of this as our fertilizer app. Then we're going to come back. We're going to add in 0.5 per 1,000 of CK. We've talked about this. I've showed you repeatedly. This is going to help with the roots on the grass that is existing. We want that grass to make it to this fall. We want to have as much as we can because then we'll be in the plus. The way my mind works, we'll be positive having some grass and then sowing more seed come the fall when we aerate. We're going to put in some RGS. This also has sea kelp. It helps with root growth as well. And with sea kelp and with the humic acid, this has humic. We're kind of light on this, so the rest of that is probably going to go down. We got a little bit of potash in here, but mainly this is going to help with our roots as well. This is my propiconazole that you guys just saw me unbox at my house. This is going to help to go to some of these brown spots. Visually, we see it, so we need to go a little bit heavier than the normal 1 ounce, and I think it's like 1.5 ounces per 1,000, so I'll have to double check that, but we're going to put that in as well. CK, RGS, propiconazole, and then we have some humic back here. This is kind of light as well. This is what I was saying to you guys earlier. I was already hitting my lawn every month with humic before I even sowed seed in my lawn at home. My ground was better off than this ground. Humic is going to unlock nutrients, and this nitrogen that we're applying, it's going, oh, sorry, humic is dead now, never mind. Just kidding. The humic is going to unlock the nutrients and be able to push those nutrients to the plant. And clearly we are nutrient deficient here in this lawn. That's what we're mixing up per the rates. And if you want to know the rates, let me know in the comments. I'll tell you when we come back on Sunday, which is actually by the filming of this, it's going to be in about 4 days. We should start seeing some visual difference. Then the next time we come out here, we want to start handling some of the weeds. So with that said, let me quit blabbing. Let's get to mixing and let's get to spraying. guys, so we've sprayed both applications. I just recorded a bulk, just me walking back and forth spraying. We've got fertilizer down. It smells like K. The potassium really has a smell to it, so it smelled the propiconazole. It's great. I feel good about applying exactly what the lawn needs. We're putting it down. Now is the critical part for this fertilizer. Is the main thing that we want to do is get that starter fert in the dirt as soon as possible. So now we got to take the time to water it in properly. So that's what I'll be doing here for the next however long it takes me here with this low water pressure from the well at the church to water all of this in. It was a lot of products to put down, but we're trying to attack it all at once. Now, again, I would space this out. If it was me at my home, I wouldn't do it this way. I would do it differently. So please don't say, well, that's what Mr. Ferguson did. It's the right way. Don't go that route. You know, let's do the fertilizer first. You got to prioritize what needs to be done first. Well, obviously the big three, the N, the P, and the K. So that application number one has to go down, and then water that in. Then I would probably go and probably attack the weeds. Go ahead and do that, and then maybe do the propiconazole to attack the fungus. And then maybe this nitrogen is going to help to grow out some of that fungus. That may actually resolve it. But I did propiconazole just as a precaution, and because we've had it in my lawn and it seems to have fixed the problem. So we don't want it to spread anymore. So we have to prioritize, right? So we got a soil test, we've acted, and now we're going to water it in. So I'll be doing that. We'll come back, we'll give you guys an update. So bookmark, hey, I want to see that video that Mr. Ferguson's going to do next about he did the soil test. We know what the problem is. Now he thinks he's put down the solution. Let's see what happens next. So we're going to come see where we are in a few days and then in a week, and then we're going to start attacking these weeds. We've got a product for you out there. This is perfect because I don't get crabgrass in my lawn, so I don't do videos on this is how you kill crabgrass. But I know I bought it the first year that I started grass. I know what kills it. I know what ingredient does, and we're going to apply it to this lawn, and we're going to kill this crabgrass that's emerged in our lawn. And from now on with the Earthway, we shouldn't have an issue with spreading good things. We're going to go back to the Magical Plus. We're going to still work on that pH as well, but that's not a priority because supposedly we're at 6. So we're okay. We're barely over the line, but we're not done yet with pH. But we're in an area where the grass should be okay for the time being. But that application will be coming soon, later on in the summertime. So thank you for watching this probably longer video than normal, but I hope it gives you some insight, some answers for those of you that have a lawn similar to this. It looks better just mowing it. We're applying the solution to the problem. So if you enjoyed this video, give it a thumbs up. It helps it get out to other people that may be having a lawn just like this and needs to do a soil test, needs to know where do they go from this point when it looks like it did when we first got here. We've made vast improvements. Now that we're watering it in, or getting ready to water it in, it's going to begin to get into the dirt. So give the video a thumbs up, share it with your friends, and also make sure you're using the links below if you need RGS, CK, if you need Green Pop. So we may be using starter fertilizer in this lawn until we get our NP and K up, and then we'll begin to adjust our fertilizer. So check out the links in the description if you want to try some of these products yourself, as well as the Jonathan Green products. And if you're interested in seeing my last video where we're tackling fungus in my lawn, check out this video right here. God bless you.